It's Friday morning and I'm waiting to go to dialysis. I'm just waiting on my driver at the moment. I'm feeling actually really tired this morning. I'm quite puffy as well. You can probably see my eyes quite puffy, around my face, under my chin. You can see it's quite puffy. Obviously I must have put on about maybe 2 litres of fluid since Wednesday. So I'm feeling really tired and yeah, I'm kind of breathless as well and just really wanting to get to dialysis. Yeah, I don't look too good either. But yeah, I sort of felt this morning when I woke up, I just didn't want to go, but no choice in the matter. I've been on dialysis now for 3.5 years. I'm now nearly 24 and I think it goes without saying that my life has changed immensely. I mean, astronomically. I certainly do not have the life that I had before and it's quite painful, but at the same time my mentality has changed beyond belief. I'm not the same person I was. I've grown up so much. I see things differently. I probably see things as they really are, and you do find out who your real friends are when you're in a situation like this, because the fact of the matter is that people do not wait for you. You know, you're sort of left in this limbo of, am I getting a transplant, I'm just going to dialysis every day, and people move on with their life and that is understandable, but I'm sort of left here not understanding, you know, what to do next. It's quite confusing.
Joanne went from a very well, active, normal, healthy child. In such a short space of time, over the course of 3 months, she started to complain of various symptoms of sore stomachs, headaches, and excessive tiredness and poor appetite. We had no idea at the time what was causing these symptoms, but in 3 months later, she was diagnosed with chronic renal failure.
I remember the first time I went into hospital when I was 3, into York Hill, and everything seemed really big and the bed seemed really big and everything was just all quite daunting and frightening, and obviously because I was so small everything seemed much bigger. I didn't feel scared initially, but I remember getting my blood pressure taken for the first time, and that was really frightening. It seems so mediocre now, but at the time, yeah, it was quite bad.
Hello again. For patients hoping for life-saving transplant surgery, waiting for an organ to become available is more than just a stressful experience. For some, it's literally waiting for either a new life following a successful operation or death if a suitable donor can't be found in time.
Well, for the last of her reports on National Transplant Week, Claire Dean went back to visit 2 families whose cases she highlighted during the 1994 campaign. Having suffered renal failure at the age of 4, Joanne Hughes used to spend hours in York Hill Hospital every week, hooked up to a dialysis machine, waiting for the chance of a kidney transplant.
I'll be able to eat all those things and do other things that other people can do.
I don't feel that having kidney failure ruined my childhood. It was such a natural part of my life at the point where I could realise it, that it didn't affect me. I still was out playing, I was still going to school. I got schooled after dialysis sometimes, and the only thing that was different was the diet. Whereas kids were eating crisps and drinking fizzy juice and eating chocolate, I couldn't do any of that, but I was intelligent enough to know not to do those things. So I wouldn't say it actually affected me too badly at that young age. I mean, this is bearing in mind that I was only the age of 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, it was later on that the detrimental side of things was to come.
And the impact it had on her as a child as well, having to then change from being a normal, active, healthy child to a very unwell, inactive child. reliant on having to stick to strict regimes of watching every drink that she took, every food that she ate. Everything had such an impact on her whole life as well as the rest of the family, and this went on for 3 years until eventually she got a good transplant.
For the last of her reports on National Transplant Week, Claire Dean went back to visit 2 families whose cases she highlighted during the 1994 campaign.
Now 9 strict diets and dialysis are no longer part of Joanne's daily routine, and she can do all the things that other children can do. Looking back, Joanne's mother remembers how much hope the family invested in the chance of a transplant and how hard the waiting was.
It took over 3 years and it was a long wait, and I think you were frightened to go anywhere in case the phone rang and you were expected to go straight in there.
The news finally came through while Joanne was in hospital for dialysis.
I just couldn't believe it when I found out I was getting the kidney. And then I phoned up my dad to tell him I didn't come home, and my gran and that. And I thought I was dreaming it.
Since her transplant 18 months ago, Joanne has never looked back.
I can do the gym a lot of the time, go to school every day.
She's not as tired as she used to be. She can now go swimming, which she always wanted to do. She can eat anything she likes and drink anything she likes. It's been like the light at a long dark tunnel. We've finally come out of this tunnel and life's improved for everybody in the family as well as Joanne. It's been wonderful.
After I got my transplant at the age of 7, everything seemed so surreal and new, but the following years were going to prove to be the toughest, and probably the person I've become now is because of what happened in those years. I was bullied a little bit because my appearance was a bit different. Because of the medication I was on was really strong, so it made me have a kind of puffy face and a sort of thicker eyebrows than a lot of kids, and I did get bullied for that quite a lot. But I mean, I did have a normal life where I could go to school normally, I could do activities normally, I could eat a normal diet, but everything else was kind of tough. From the age of 13 up until 20, I had a really good life and I had friends and I was at high school, and you know, when I reached 16 I was going out, I was partying like you do, then just normal things. And then at about the age of 18 my transplant had started to kind of, the function had fallen slightly, and I had a couple of bouts in hospital, and then by the age of 19 the kidney was definitely on its way to failure. And I knew at that point that the fun times were, you know, they were going to be over.
We knew the transplant wasn't going to last her forever, and when it failed when she was 20, we had preparation to this kidney failing, and I was elected to donate one of my own kidneys to her, which was planned, and we went through a series of tests to go ahead with this transplant. It was a good match, and the preparation lasted a year, and Joanne finally got my kidney in 2008.
Me and my mum were beginning to get worked up for a live donor, which was due to take place the following year. So that was a sort of year-long process, and obviously a year later, April the 9th 2008, I got my mum's kidney, and it was absolutely fine, but at some point during the night the kidney failed, and still to this day there is no reason for it. Nobody can find out why, and I'm back on dialysis obviously now.
For myself and Joanne and for the rest of the family, the failure of the live donor transplant was a huge emotional roller coaster for everybody. We were all prepared for this kidney to work and for Joanne to carry on with the rest of her life as she had planned to do. She had so many plans about what she wanted to do for her career and enjoy her life, and this was all taken away from her just in the space of a few short hours.
I've been on dialysis now for 3.5 years. I'm now nearly 24, and I think it goes without saying that my life has changed immensely. I mean, astronomically. I certainly do not have the life that I had before, and it's quite painful, but at the same time my mentality has changed beyond belief. I'm not the same person I was. I've grown up so much. I see things differently. I probably see things as they really are, and you do find out who your real friends are when you're in a situation like this, because the fact of the matter is that people do not wait for you. You know, you're sort of left in this limbo of, am I getting a transplant, I'm just going to dialysis every day, and people move on with their life, and that is understandable, but I'm sort of left here not understanding, you know, what to do next. It's quite confusing. My current prospects I've got now are, there's the option of plasmapheresis, as I can't get a direct donor from my dad, as my body would reject his kidney. I could also wait on the transplant list, but that could take a long time due to the fact that my body has a lot of antibodies that would attack other kidneys.
And also the fact that because she's had 2 transplanted organs before, it now makes it even more difficult to find a more suitable donor for her.
There's a few options that I have to think about, but none of them are a quick fix.